You have fire in your gut? Okay, we're here for a reason to win games. So if you didn't have that fire in your gut, you better light the fire pretty fast.
What is going on? My name is Quentin Crisco. You can find me on Twitter at BuckissStats. We are the Shaving Points Podcast. Unfortunately, Jay couldn't make it for this short form episode that we run every week. Our goal here is always 15 minutes or less. A lot of times we're around 20 minutes, but with this short form one, we want to get you guys our takes quickly and get you out of here. With that, we do a long form one as well. That's about 1.5 hours every week. So make sure to go check that out if you are interested in that. But without further ado, let's get into this week's NFL slate. Starting with Thursday night football, we have the Denver Broncos going to the Los Angeles Chargers. Our model here likes the Broncos. I like the Broncos. I'm following the model lately. Model went 5-1 last week, so there is good reason to follow it lately. Like 2 weeks ago, it struggled, but it's only had 2 weeks this year where it's down on units. Otherwise, it's up 15 units on the year in total. So Denver +3 is a bet that it likes. It has a slight lean towards the under here. If we look at both these teams, like Denver has covered 86% of their road games, and they've gone over in 57% of those games. The Chargers have covered 57% of their home games, and they've gone over in 57% of those games. So it's an odd place to have the under, but both these teams are a bit more defensive teams, especially the Broncos. And Bo Nix has been volatile lately, especially last week against Indy, who was not that great a defense. So there's some merit to the under there, but ultimately taking Denver plus the 3 on that. And we move on. We go to the Houston Texans, who are going to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. Chiefs are 2.5-point favorites here. The model leans towards the Texans plus the 2.5. And it says stay away from the over under, stay away from the total, period. That's what these red marks mean on our model here. It's just don't bet it. Don't try to bet the over. Don't try to bet the under. Stay away. In this one, if we look at some of the numbers around it, let me clear that thing for you there. We see that Houston on the road has covered half their games this year, has gone over in 43% of those games. Kansas City has only covered 29% of their games at home, and they've gone over in 43% of those home games. So Kansas City hasn't been a strong cover at home this year. Houston has been decent. Not that's why this is just a lean to Houston. That's part of the reason. There's more underlying stats behind it than just the cover rates and the over under. But ultimately, this one there's not really strong data either way. So if you want to bet it, maybe take Houston plus the 2.5. But I'm not going to. I'm going to stay away from this one because the model is saying to, and my gut says this could go either way. Now, next up here, we have the Steelers taking on the Ravens. Big divisional matchup here. We have, the Steelers won the first time around on this one. Steelers are 6.5-point dogs here in Baltimore. On the road, the Steelers have covered 63% of their games. They've gone over in 63% of those road games. At home, Baltimore's only covered 40% of their games, but they've gone over in 67%. You notice the green mark over the over? We're taking the over in this one. Over 44.5. The model says do it. It's the only total it likes this week. And then Pittsburgh plus 6.5. It also likes. I'm taking that as well. A lot of this does rest on George Pickens. I got to say that offense is different without him out there. There seems to be optimism. He came back to practice today, so there's reason to think that Pittsburgh's offense might come back to form here with George Pickens coming back. But we will see. I like that Pittsburgh plus 6.5, though. Those matchups in the AFC North, I feel like, are always close, always tough fought battles. Now, next up here, we have the Cleveland Browns going to Cincinnati. Cincinnati are 7.5-point home favorites, total of 46.5. In this one, Cleveland has covered 29% of their road games, gone over 43% of those games. Cincy's only covered 17% of their home games. They have not been a reliable cover this year, but they've gone over in 83% of those. So you have a team that goes under a lot, a team that goes over a lot. You end up with just a lean on the over here. I can't take Cincy minus 7.5 against anyone with the way their defense has been playing. I want to take them here, but I'm not going to. Model says not to. Model has a lean towards Cincy and the over, but like they're just light leans. Now, after that, we have the Arizona Cardinals going to the Carolina Panthers. In this one, Arizona has covered 67% of their road games, going over in 40% of those. Carolina only covered 43% of their home games. They've gone over 86% of the time at home. That's why it's red on the total here. Just stay away from it. You have a team that goes under a lot, team that goes over a lot. I don't know where that's going. But we do like Arizona -4.5 on this one. Like I said, Arizona they've been a cover machine this year. 64% of their total games, 67% of their road games have been covers. I think the talent difference here is pretty clear. I think that Arizona's defense can really confuse Bryce Young at times. Like I think they can give him some fits. That scheme is so much fun to watch, so well executed. So Cardinals -4.5. After that, we have Philadelphia going to Washington. Philadelphia the Eagles are 3.5-point favorites here. Both these teams have covered 86% for the Eagles on the road, 71% for Washington at home. That makes this one a tougher read. My gut says Eagles here. I have a lean towards the Eagles. Model has a lean towards the Eagles and a lean towards the over. Ultimately, I'm staying away, but this is probably one of my strongest leans. I really think that Washington team they haven't been the same the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks. And Philly's rolling. I think Philly continues to roll in this game. Now, next up here, we have the New York Football Giants going to Atlanta. Michael Penix Jr.'s in. This spread has been all over the place. Started out at 9.5, moved up to 10.5. Then Penix was announced. It moved back down to 8.5. That's where it's sitting now. Might change a little more between now when this is recording and whenever you might see this or later on during the week. I almost want to throw the numbers out the window with this one because of Penix, but I got this number at 10.5 earlier today. If you got it there, good for you. It's on my graphic. My betting graphic this week is going to say New York Giants plus 10.5. I'm not sure I'd bet it at 8.5 though. Like I don't think I would. The model still likes it at 8.5, but I think you might see a little boost here from Atlanta with the quarterback change. I'm not sure what to think of Penix here. Model also says stay away from the total in this one. A lot of totals stay away from this week. In this one, part of that is probably the Giants have been a good over team on the road, and Atlanta has been a bad over team, a good under team at home. So I don't know what to expect from that with Michael Penix in there, though. I think they're going to get some weird wrinkles in there, some interesting wrinkles, some unscouted looks from the Falcons this week that might push it over. Ultimately, I must stay away from that total. Like I said, I got Giants plus 10.5, but I'm not sure I'd take it at 8.5. After that, we have the Titans going to Indianapolis. This is a junk game, for being honest. Maybe Indy's still alive, but like I don't know. They've covered 67% of their home games. They're good at Lucas Oil Stadium. We know that much. Like they've always been good at covering there. Tennessee's actually gone over 86% of their road games too. So maybe if you're looking for something here, I might look at the total, look at the over. Mason Rudolph is supposed to be starting for Tennessee, I believe. So that changes some stuff up. But ultimately, we're talking about two teams I don't trust. They're extremely volatile here. I'm not interested in betting two teams that I see as being extremely volatile. Next up, we got the Detroit Lions going to Chicago. The Bears have looked pretty much dead on arrival lately. Like they since the coaching change, there's been nothing there. Detroit's been putting up a ton of points. That defense is hurt though. Model actually has a lean towards the under 47.5 here, but it does like Detroit -6.5. I'm taking Detroit -6.5. I think you're going to have a hard time stopping the run. Jahmyr Gibbs is probably going to have a big game here. If player props are your thing, I like Jahmyr Gibbs overs this week. I like Jahmyr Gibbs touchdowns. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to have a nice game this week. Maybe a little Sam Laporta too. Tight ends have kind of been killing the Bears the last few weeks. Their linebackers have really struggled to cover them up. But the one thing that can give you pause here, the Bears have been a good home team. They covered 80% of their home games. The Lions covered 83% of their road games. This one in the first one, it was only a 3-point game. We'll see if the Bears can keep it that close. Like I said, they haven't looked very good lately. Next one, we got the Rams against the Jets. The model says stay away from this. I am staying away. Model is a lean towards the Jets +3 and a lean towards the under 46.5. If I was going to bet anything here, it would probably be on the Rams to cover. Rams have covered 57% of their road games. Jets only 33% of their home games. But ultimately, I mean, you're traveling all the way from LA to New York or to New Jersey for this one. Like, that is weird. It's a noon game, so they're playing like 8, 9 a.m. their natural clock time. Like that becomes a tough bet for me to really rely on, especially with the Rams not exactly being a juggernaut this year. Like I trust Sean McVay, I trust Matt Stafford, but I don't know if I trust them this much in this one to be -3 here. It's a Jets team that isn't good, but still has Aaron Rodgers, and I'm still not quite sure how to value that. He's been playing decently well lately. Next, we have Minnesota going to Seattle. Minnesota is a 3.5-point road favorite here. Minnesota's covered 60% of their road games. Seattle, 12th man. What are you guys doing? You've only covered 25% of your home games this year. Like, you gotta be better than that to be. You guys are the 12th man. You're like this vaunted thing around the league, right? I got to see something better from that. I'm taking Minnesota -3.5 here. Model likes it. Model does say stay away from the total on this one. You have a Seattle team that has not been scoring points at home against a Minnesota team who has covered at a 50% clip on the road for the over. So do with that what you will. I'm staying away from the total on that one. Next, we have a game that I have no interest in betting. Buffalo against New England. I mean, a 14.5-point spread. I'm kind of out on that unless I'm going to bet the dog, and I'm not trusting the Patriots in this spot. Model is a lean towards Buffalo -14.5, lean towards the over 46.5. Josh Allen's been putting up a ton of points. Maybe he continues it. Maybe Buffalo's defense gives up some points here to Drake May, but ultimately, I don't see the upside in betting this one. Next, we have San Francisco going to Miami. Another cross-country trip here, all the way from San Francisco down to South Beach. This one's interesting. Like, I'm not betting it. Model leans towards San Fran, leans towards the under. I think I'm leaning towards San Fran. I think you can look at the Devondre Campbell stuff a lot of different ways, but to me, I'm looking at it as it seemed like everyone on that team was pissed at Devondre Campbell. I think that can be uniting and bring out a little more passion in their play this week. I think you're going to see San Fran covering this one, but I don't think it enough to bet it here. So ultimately, I am staying away. After that, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars going to Sin City, to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. And man, this one just has sicko game written all over it. Like if you're betting this one, you're more sicko than me. I'm avoiding this one. If I'm gonna bet anything on this game, it's the over 39.5, just because I'm gonna get sicko with it if I'm betting this game. I'm not betting it though. Like, both these teams have covered over 50% in their respective home road areas that we're looking at here. Both teams are at 57% over rate on the season. 39.5 was a low number. Two bad defenses, two offenses that who knows what to expect, but like, I don't know, 39.5 is such a low number. You might have to take the over there if you are hell bent on betting that one. If you are in Vegas and going to the game and like, I got to bet it, I'm there. But moving on, we have Tampa Bay going to Dallas. Baker has been on fire. Tampa has covered 71% of their road games this year. Both these teams have gone over 64% of their games. Miles only leaning towards the over, though. I don't know what to expect from Cooper Rush in that Dallas offense here. I think Tampa's going to score points, though. I think Mike Evans is going to put up yards. He wants that record, wants the 1,000 yards for every year of his career. He's 250 yards away. He's going to be trying to get it. Give me Tampa -3.5, one of the model's favorite bets of the week. And last, and possibly least, I'm a Bears fan, so definitely least, we got the Green Bay Packers at home against the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans was feisty last week at home. I like New Orleans to be feisty at home. On the road, they've only covered 33% of their games this year, though. Packers covered 57% at Lambeau. But who cares? There's a 13.5-point spread. I ain't betting it. With a backup quarterback, Spencer Rattler, in there, I don't know what the hell I'm going to get out of him. I don't know what type of points. I can't bet the over. I can't bet the spread. I'm staying away from this one. I would suggest anyone out there stay the heck away from this game. I don't know. I mean, it's Monday Night Football. You're going to bet it, maybe bet some player props. You know, if you're going to bet this one, bet some Spencer Rattler rush yards, maybe. Bet some Jordan Love, maybe under passing yards. That could be interesting. Or maybe a Dontavian Wicks touchdown. Get weird with it. Like I haven't researched the props on this one, but ultimately I'm saying stay away from the spread and the total. It's a wild card bet. But that is all we have for you guys. Do not forget, do not sleep on the Arizona Cardinals. They are our team this year. They are the team that we are backing to cover the spread. And it's been a good year for everybody. But thank you guys for listening, watching, and have a great evening.
That's how we've won all year, team, right? Yes, you held them to 20 points, man. Yes, you gave us a chance at the end. I got 3 words for you. You like that? Yeah!